This is not a strategy video. This is not about indicators, entries, or market predictions. This is about the silent decision you make after you think you're smart. The one number you choose when nobody is watching. The number that decides whether you survive or disappear quietly. Most traders don't blow accounts because they don't know how to trade. They blow accounts because they know just enough to feel dangerous. Lot sizing is where intelligence goes to die. You can be right about direction and still destroy yourself. You can have a profitable system and still go broke. You can win more trades than you lose and still vanish. Because the market doesn't kill you with losses. It kills you with exposure. Lot size is exposure. Exposure to fear. Exposure to ego. Exposure to impatience. Exposure to the part of you that wants results now. Most people think risk management is math. It's not. It's psychology wearing a calculator. Let's start with a simple life example. Imagine driving a car you don't own. If it's a rental, you drive carefully. You slow down at turns. You respect the road. Now imagine driving a car you just stole. You don't care about scratches. You don't care about the engine. You don't care about tomorrow. That's how most people treat small accounts. A $100 account doesn't feel like capital. It feels like a lottery ticket. So you don't protect it. You bet it. And betting always demands bigger size. This is why small accounts die faster than large ones. Not because they're small, but because they invite recklessness. Legendary traders understood this early, often through pain. Paul Tudor Jones once admitted that early in his career, his biggest losses didn't come from bad ideas. They came from overconfidence after being right. He wasn't punished for ignorance. He was punished for certainty. Certainty always increases size. The moment you feel sure, your finger reaches for more lots. The moment you feel confident, you justify risk. The moment you feel different from the crowd, you forget survival. Lot sizing exposes who you really are under pressure. A disciplined trader with bad sizing is still a gambler. An emotional trader with conservative sizing can survive long enough to grow. Think about this. If you lose 1% 10 times in a row, you're annoyed. If you lose 10% twice, you're altered. If you lose 30% once, you're broken. Same market, same trader, different size. The market doesn't change your psychology, your size does. Jesse Livermore learned this the hard way. He made millions, not once, but multiple times, and lost it all repeatedly. Why? Because every time he felt invincible, he increased size beyond emotional tolerance. Livermore wasn't stupid, he was human. And humans confuse winning streaks with personal evolution. Lot size is where arrogance hides behind logic. This trade is A+. I've backtested this. My win rate is high. I'll just size up this once. That sentence has ended more careers than bad analysis ever did. Let's talk about the illusion of control. Most traders believe they control risk because they set stop losses. That's a lie they tell themselves. You don't control risk when your size is too big for your nervous system, because when price approaches your stop, you hesitate. You widen it, you move it, you hope. And hope is not a strategy. Hope is fear wearing optimism. A properly sized trade feels boring. That's why people hate it. No adrenaline, no heart rate spike, no emotional story to tell, just execution. Most people don't want to trade. They want to feel something. So they increase size to make the market louder. But the louder the market feels, the less rational you become. This is why professional traders obsess over position sizing more than entries. Ed Sikota famously said that the best traders are those who can cut losses short. But what he lived by was deeper. He sized positions so losses never damaged his identity. When your loss feels like an attack on who you are, your size is wrong. Let's bring this into everyday life. Imagine a salary worker who loses $10. He shrugs. Imagine the same worker losing his entire month's rent in one moment. Same person, different reaction. Now imagine losing your entire sense of self-worth in one trade. That's what oversized positions do. They turn trading into judgment. I am bad. I am stupid. I don't belong here. And once trading becomes personal, discipline dies. Most blown accounts weren't killed by one massive loss. They were killed by a series of emotional decisions after an oversized loss. revenge trading, doubling down, breaking rules temporarily, trying to get back to even. The market doesn't need to hunt you. You hunt yourself. Legendary traders learned to respect this early. Stanley Druckenmiller, despite being one of the greatest macro traders ever, was known for reducing size when uncertain, even when his analysis was strong. Why? Because clarity matters more than conviction. Conviction without emotional stability is lethal. Lot size determines whether you can think. If you can't think clearly in a trade, your size is wrong. If you can't sleep with open positions, your size is wrong. If you keep checking price every minute, your size is wrong. The market is not your enemy. Your intolerance to uncertainty is. Here's a dark truth. Most traders don't want consistent growth. They want escape. Escape from jobs. Escape from insecurity. Escape from feeling small. And escape demands speed. Speed demands size. That's why lot sizing becomes reckless when traders are desperate. Desperation compresses time. Compressed time destroys patience. Destroyed patience inflates risk. This is why advice like risk 1% per trade fails for beginners. Not because it's wrong, but because they don't believe they have time. So they secretly violate it. They say 1%, but trade emotionally at 10%, because their internal clock is ticking. Professional traders think in decades. Retail traders think in weeks. Lot sizing reveals your time horizon. If you're trading like you need money urgently, your size will betray you. Let's talk about winning. Winning is more dangerous than losing. Losses humble you. Wins inflate you. After 3 wins, you feel skilled. After 5, you feel special. After 10, you feel chosen. That's when lot size increases quietly. Not dramatically, logically. Just a bit more. I've earned it. The market is paying me back. No, the market is testing you, and the test is always the same. Can you stay small when you feel big? Most can't. That's why traders blow accounts right after their best months. The psychological peak is the danger zone. The greats survive because they understood one thing. Survival is the edge. Not prediction, not intelligence, not speed. Survival. Lot sizing is how you buy time. Time to learn. Time to adapt. Time to make mistakes without dying. A trader who survives long enough eventually becomes profitable. A trader whose size is too big never reaches that point. Think about predators in nature. The ones who rush us starve. The ones who conserve energy survive. The market rewards patience disguised as boredom. Here's the final truth most won't accept. If your account keeps dying, it's not because you lack knowledge. It's because you refuse to trade small enough to feel insignificant. And the ego hates insignificance. But insignificance is safety. Trade so small that losses don't hurt. Trade so small that wins don't excite. Trade so small that you can observe yourself clearly. That's where growth happens. Lot sizing doesn't just protect your account. It exposes your character. And until your character is stable, no strategy will save you. The market doesn't care how smart you are. It only cares how long you can stay. And lot sizing decides that, silently. And most people never stay long enough to understand that, because staying requires humility. And humility feels like failure to an ego that wants proof. Let's go deeper. When you trade too large, the market stops being a market. It becomes a mirror. Every tick feels personal. Every pullback feels like betrayal. Every stop out feels like judgment. That's not trading. That's identity warfare. You are no longer managing risk. You are defending who you think you are. This is where lot sizing turns dark, because the mind does something dangerous when size is too big. It starts rewriting reality. You stop seeing probabilities. You start seeing narratives. This shouldn't be happening. Their hunting stops. The market is manipulated. If I just hold a little longer, oversized positions don't just cause losses. They create delusions, and delusions keep you trapped longer than losses ever could. There's a reason casinos encourage players to bet big after wins, because big bets reduce thinking. They compress decision-making. They turn logic into impulse. The market does the same thing. Big size creates urgency. Urgency kills objectivity. Without objectivity, rules become optional. You start believing exceptions apply to you. Legendary traders didn't eliminate emotion. They engineered around it. George Soros talked openly about physical discomfort when he was wrong. But here's what most people miss. He reduced size when uncertainty increased, even when his thesis was strong. That's emotional intelligence, not fear. Retail traders do the opposite. They increase size when uncertain, hoping size will compensate for doubt. That's not confidence, that's avoidance. Let's talk about pain thresholds. Every human has a financial pain threshold, a number beyond which rationality collapses. Professional traders build systems to stay below it. Retail traders discover it by blowing accounts. If a 2% loss makes you angry, your size is wrong. If a 5% loss makes you reckless, your size is dangerous. If a 10% loss makes you desperate, your size is lethal. And desperation always wants revenge. Revenge trading isn't about money. It's about restoring self-image. I'm not this bad. I'll show the market. I won't accept this ending. But the market doesn't negotiate with pride. Here's a simple life example. Imagine arguing with someone you don't care about. You stay calm. You think clearly. You walk away easily. Now imagine arguing with someone whose opinion defines you. Your voice rises. Your logic disappears. You say things you regret. Same words. Different emotional investment. That's what lot size does. Small size equals emotional distance. Large size equals emotional entanglement. And entanglement always leads to mistakes. This is why many traders perform better on demo than live accounts. Not because demo is fake, but because size removes fear. Fear isn't weakness. Fear is information. But oversized positions turn fear into panic, and panic demands action. Most catastrophic losses don't come from bad setups. They come from forced decisions, closing early, moving stops, adding to losers, ignoring plans. All because size was too big to tolerate uncertainty. Let's address the fantasy. Many traders secretly believe one big trade will change their life. One perfect position, one aggressive size, one moment of courage. That belief is poison because it reframes trading as destiny instead of process. Professional traders don't look for life-changing trades. They look for career-sustaining behavior. That's boring. That's slow. That's unsexy. And that's why it works. The market doesn't reward intensity. It rewards consistency. Lot sizing is consistency expressed numerically. Here's something almost nobody talks about. When you trade too large, you stop learning, because learning requires neutrality, and neutrality requires emotional safety. If every loss hurts, you don't analyze, you rationalize. If every win excites, you don't reflect, you celebrate. Both block growth. Small size creates a laboratory. Big size creates a battlefield, and battlefields are about survival, not improvement. This is why some traders stay mediocre for years. Not because they lack intelligence, but because they never allow themselves to be students. Their size demands certainty. Certainty kills curiosity. Legendary traders stayed curious. They stayed skeptical of themselves. They sized accordingly. Think about this carefully. If your goal is to be right, you'll trade big. If your goal is to last, you'll trade small. Most people say they want freedom, but their behavior shows they want validation. Validation needs size. Freedom needs patience. And patience needs small exposure. Lot sizing is where fantasy meets reality, where ambition meets limitation, where ego meets consequence. The market doesn't punish dreams, it punishes impatience. And impatience always expresses itself through size. So if you're honest with yourself, look at your lot size history, not your entries, not your indicators, your size. That's your psychological fingerprint. It shows when you were afraid, when you were greedy, when you were desperate, when you were euphoric. Your P&L is a biography, and lot sizing writes the most honest chapters. The trader who survives isn't the smartest. He's the one who learned to stay emotionally invisible, small enough to observe, small enough to think, small enough to endure. Because in the end, the market doesn't care about your story, but it remembers how much you risked when you didn't need to, and it charges interest for impatience, always.